Hi everyone, my name is Heather and I'm Audrey and Kate's mom, and I thought I'd just give you guys a little update on how things are going here in Japan. And actually right now we're at our house, we're at a level 5 flood, flash flood or rain warning, big rain warning I guess is what it's called. And we don't get that very often usually, here. We've had it a couple of times in the time I've lived here, but it's been raining a lot all day long today, and so it's been just kind of progressively getting worse all day long. And luckily where we live way up on top of kind of like a hill a little bit. So the people around us and everything, we're pretty okay. The only thing to worry about is some of the problems that people in other places here in southern Japan have been dealing with, is the mudslides that can happen. But luckily for us, like I mentioned before, our house's mountain that runs around our house is sort of a clay-like dirt, so the chances of it becoming a mudslide are pretty low. I think we'll be okay. So, but we're keeping an eye on everything to see what's going on, and the first sign that anything might not be good, we'll be doing what we need to be safe, of course. Because they have announced that it's a level 5, everybody that's in an area that might be dangerous is being told to move. The place that is currently open is the city hall, and you can go there, and even though it's kind of at the same level as the main river that we have that runs through town, which is very close to flooding right now, they that building is huge, massively huge, and has lots of stories to it, so you can be up on the 3rd or 4th floor and you'd be very safe. So it's a good location, so if people need to, they can be there. Audrey's friend, for example, lives like right there next to that river, so I think if she feels they might need to move, we'll have to see what's going on. But so that's kind of what's going on right now. For us, we just are kind of waiting to make sure that nothing happens in terms of mudslides, and then also the electricity going out is always a problem. And that's always hard in the summertime because then the air conditioning is gone and fans are gone, so it gets kind of hot pretty fast. So we would like to avoid that if we can. We'll have to see what happens. And because the rain is expected to last for so many days too, it's kind of hard because it's not really going to lighten up at all. So this is a pretty bad little storm that's hitting us right now. So we noticed just outside we have like our property, and then around the property there's that slight little hill that rises up around it, and that whole sort of like natural gutter that runs along the edging, that's all filled up pretty much and is moving at a pretty good rate. So that means there's a pretty good amount of water going, and I don't imagine the chickens are on the lower level of their house right now. They're probably up on top of they have like a little bar that they can stand across and hang out on, so they're probably up there because inside's probably pretty wet. Hunter has not been outside. He's just staying inside like a good boy, hanging out, so he's fine. And like I said, we're just kind of waiting to see what happens. You can kind of see different places where the gutters that run through the streets kind of get flooded a little, where they're kind of spewing out water randomly out of nowhere because there's a lot of water going on. And like we said, if it gets to a point where the electricity goes out, then we have, of course, flashlights like crazy, and we have the ability to cook without needing to have electricity because we have a little portable gas stove that we used in our live the other day. So we have a lot of things that we're, and just naturally, because you live in Japan, we have emergency kits like crazy. We have a couple of them. We have one downstairs and upstairs, and that has, things in it like, energy bars, and, those heat retaining kind of capes or whatever, and all sorts of stuff. They gave us a whole list of things you should have, and we made sure we had like all of those. So we're pretty covered for what you need to have in those kinds of things. But other than that, we do have the problem in our house where we have part of our house that leaks. And it all comes to the people who built the house like 30 years ago or whatever. When they built it, they did a crappy job, and the one area just always flooded. And it's by a window, and the middle of a very, very large, long window that runs along the whole side of the house, right in the middle of it the water just comes in from there. And when the house was first built, it came in like crazy. And the wallpaper just went to crap right away. So Moss's dad asked the people who built the house to come and fix it. And they kind of fixed it, but not really. And then a few years later, it was still always causing trouble. And we tried to get people to come out to fix it, but that company didn't exist anymore. I don't even remember what happened. But that place is like the bane of my existence, because that particular room is the room actually where we do our live recordings and where we do our live streams like Twitch. And actually, when I was pregnant with Audrey, I thought, oh, we could make this our room where we keep her and where we sleep and stuff, because we were thinking of just kind of making stuff simple. And I thought that might be a nice way to kind of set things up. And so I moved everything around and got the nursery all ready in there. And we had this massive rainstorm, and it started flooding again in there. I mean, not flooding, it started leaking just a tiny bit. But I was like, that's not the place for a baby. Good. So I had to we had to move everything to a different room. So that was annoying. And so I kind of hate that room forever now. It's like, I hate that room. And then sure enough, I went in there this morning and it was leaking again. So just a couple things got wet. They'll dry. It's not the end of the world, but it's still just drip, 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 dripping. So we have to have a bunch of towels around to kind of catch it all so it doesn't go anywhere. But, you know, no guitars were hurt, you guys. Don't worry. No gear was hurt. It was just the table where we have some pamphlets and some spare guitar strings in. So, and it didn't get, I luckily caught it before it got too bad. So all of that will air dry and it'll be just fine. But still, it was like, oh, sure, of course, you're leaking. I hate that place. So that's the only thing we kind of have to deal with here. We haven't really had any other big problems than that. So, but for now, you know, the phones are giving us little beeping alerts to tell us what's going on. And then another thing that's really unique about Japan that I don't know if you guys know is that they have these weird, it's one thing for there to be like a tornado siren, or I don't know, I haven't lived in a place where there's hurricanes, but like, you know, in Colorado, when there was a tornado, the tornado siren would sound. Probably kind of similar to when there was, like, you know, bombs, you know, sounding, you know, warnings for when people during wartime, I don't know. But so they have that system here, but then they make announcements over it. So like the whole city can hear. It's really weird. And, you know, we happen to be in a place where we can hear pretty good, but if you're a little farther away, it's like really hard to hear. So you have to kind of open your windows and like, okay, what are they saying? And I think this sound rotates around, and so you can hear it kind of, yeah, I mean, because that's the sound that they do sometimes when there's a thunderstorm in the States too. They do that, but they don't talk a lot. They just say like, oh, it's a flash, you know, flooding warning level 2 or something, and then they make that little noise. But here it's like 4 minutes, and they're talking forever about all sorts of things, and they don't just use it for emergencies. They do it to let you know if the festival is going to be going on or not. It's really strange. So it takes some getting used to if you haven't. And it kind of goes along with the whole how they play a song at certain times of the day too. We have a song that plays in the morning at 6 and at noon, and then again at 5, I think it is, at night. So you guys might hear it sometimes when we do live streams and stuff, and the dog starts singing because he's like, what is this noise? So kind of one of the weird things about living here. But but I just wanted you guys to know kind of what's going on here. By the time we probably get this posted, everything will be over anyway, so it doesn't matter. But, you know, we're hearing the alerts, we're getting emails constantly. The cell phone is doing little beeping noises to let us know what's going on. So everything, the alerts and information are changing, and as it gets to a higher level, people that are in an area that might be in danger are being asked to move. So they go to, you know, big city places usually and hang out there until everything is better. And so I just hope everyone, you know, luckily everybody here is really good about wearing masks and stuff, so they'll be safe. I think if, you know, there's no risk of them getting corona too while you're there, that wouldn't be good. So, but we happen to be in a place where we really are not in any way in a dangerous spot. So we're very lucky that way. So I know other parts of Japan right now are having terrible rains and such terrible flooding, and I just hope everybody can be safe and get to a good location that's safe, so that we don't lose too many people. But I think, you know, wherever you guys live, and if you have any natural disasters and things like that to worry about, you know, listen when they tell you to take cover and be careful and look out for everyone, and make sure to restock all of your, you know, emergency supplies and things like that, and be safe. And yeah, I'll give you guys some more updates later on too, but I wanted to just kind of let you guys know what was going on. So I will talk to you guys later. Take care of yourselves and each other, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.